Yeah, I had the same impression. Like after listening to all the songs, to the 10 songs, I felt like like a really individual new mood. Because like you mentioned that you work with different songwriters, and also there's the piano in most of the songs in the spotlight. And it was really, like I said, like really soft, but the lyrics are really intense. And just to talk about heavy, about the first single, I mean, I just wrote down like, I don't like my mind right now, staking up problems that are so unnecessary. Like, this is like one example. It's really personal. So I was just wondering, like, it seems like that you've been through a number of issues over the last couple of years and just working on that album. Can you just give us a clue what actually was inside you as you wrote it down? Are there any special?
Well, you know, I mean, being in Linkin Park, it has a lot of perks, and it's really a fun life, and it's a blessed life. You know, I get to do what I love to do with really talented and exceptionally decent people. You know what I mean? Like everyone in the band they're all really good guys, but at the same time, like none of us are immune from, you know, just shit happening to you, you know, and or not to you, but just kind of making poor choices, or, you know, being human. Like there's always that element. And for me, like, I think I kind of reached a place in 2015 when I broke my leg. I was in Linkin Park, I was in Stone Temple Pilots, I was a dad, I was like trying to manage all this stuff. I had just gotten done, like, I feel like I've literally been in like rehabbing injuries since I was 30. Ever since I tore my disc in my back, like I've just been like constantly rehabbing a surgery, an injury, a surgery, you know, like it just kind of, I got to a point where I was like, you know, medicating, kind of having issues with that, kind of like, you know, falling back into old habits, into old, you know, behaviors. And I really got to a point, and I got, you know, lost some really close people to me quickly, and was having trouble with all of my relationships, not just like at home, but like with my friends, with just myself, everything. And life got really weird and really hard all at one time. And, you know, I'm like this person who, like, you know, thinks I can do like, I just want to do anything I want to do, like when I want to do it. And I feel like I can figure it out. And that works sometimes, but I found like when I broke my leg and it was so bad, like it wasn't just like, oh, I broke my leg, like I can kind of heal in 8 weeks, I'll be back on, like, it was like, I broke the crap out of it, and I needed like reconstructive surgery and like plates and screws and more surgery, and like it was like, whoa, you know, it was nasty. And that kind of took me into like a depression that really was hard to get out of. And then you know, I realized at that point, like, I can't do all this stuff if everything isn't perfect and running exactly the way it's supposed to. One thing falls off the cart and like the whole thing gets ruined. It's like pulling an apple, like you see a nice stack of apples at the grocery store, and it's beautiful and like it's really nice, and then you grab the bottom one and the whole thing goes down, and next thing you know, it takes like all these people to clean up the mess. Right? Everything's ruined, right?
I feel like that's my life.
We were talking about it in the studio, and like Mike had made a list of all the things that not only like some of the stuff that he knew I was going through, and then some of the stuff he was going through, and some of the stuff he knew like our friends and like other guys in the band were going through. It was like a list of like 50 things. And it was like each one of them was on its own really, really hard to go through.
It was like each one was a Netflix.
It was like
Netflix series.
It was like one of our friends died of cancer. My stepdad died of cancer. I broke my leg, and I had to rehab that for a year. I quit Stone Temple Pilots because it was just too much. It was too much. I felt bad about that. You know,
that times like
and then
10 times.
And then I was like, yeah, depressed, and I was like, you know, drinking again, and then I was like doing all this stuff, and I was just like, dude, like this is crazy. And you know, all my relationships were struggling, like everything was struggling, and it was just really tough. And so there was like just enough things to kind of keep me wanting to go. But yeah, I mean, like you were saying earlier, I don't think it was burnt out from just like, man, like I just need a break. I was burnt out because I was just like, fuck the world. Like, not like I need a break. Like, honestly, like, fuck all of you. Like, everybody and everything. And I don't like doing anything anymore. Like, nothing makes me happy. I don't like anyone. I even told one of my therapists at one point, I said, I just don't want to feel anything. I kind of envy sociopaths because they don't have to worry about ever feeling shit. I kind of want that. And she's like, you mean you don't want to be a human being? I was like, yep, that's what I want.
There's one funny thing that he touched on that like people don't know about. I mean, you can kind of guess about Chester. Like when he's you know, broken his arm on stage years ago, and he broke it, and we were like, okay, do we need to? It was like the beginning of the show. Like, do we need to stop the show? And he's like, well, it's gonna be as broken in an hour as it is right now. And we were like, what? And he's like, yeah, let's just play. It's like, it fucking hurts, but let's just play. Like, he's the kind of guy that's going to just like power through anything, right? And it's like, something's going on, like, oh, it's going to take you, 8 months to rehab your injury. Chester's going to be like, I'm going to get it done in 6. I'm going to be running a marathon in 6.
Yeah, I ran a marathon in 8 months, and I was back on doing shows with STP. I broke it in January, and I was on the road in April. I should not have been doing that, you know?
But he's going to try, he's going to put in the work too. He's not necessarily like you'd think, oh, is he's like doing it and he shouldn't be doing it. Like I watch him like put in the work. Like he really works hard to do all the things he wants to do, right? And those are things you can control. Like you can control like, oh, I need to go to the gym every day. I need to do my stretches every day. I need to take my medicine every day. I need to do whatever. And he'll do all those things. And then for anybody especially a person who's like that, like if things happen to you where it's like, no, you literally can't control this. You literally can do zero about this. And you're like, no, but I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And it's like, no, I don't care that's,
stuff, no? Sounds like
no, it's control. Like we all have this feeling that like, you want to have certain amount of control over your life, right? Like, oh, like today I was going to go for a run in the park. Oh, it's raining. I can't go for a run in the park. It's like, well, actually you do have control over that. You could put on, rain clothes and go out in the rain and do your run. Oh, we're going to have a birthday party and then now it's raining. Like, no, you do not have control over that. You now cannot do that. No, you're not going to put everybody out there in the rain. It's not going to happen. So then you're upset and you feel more because you've now lost control. You feel so terrible, right? I think there's an element that specific thing, like all those things that Chester was saying and that specific idea of like, there's things we can control. We can control our reactions to things. We control how we handle things, but there's also things you can't. And this record, like that is at the core of a lot of the record.
And that's kind of like, touching on Heavy in the lyrics, that's kind of like what Heavy is about ultimately. It's like that idea that, I find myself personally, like when I'm stuck, it's because I haven't just surrendered to the process of life. I'm trying to like be in there and do things my way. I'm trying to steer the ship or whatever. And, there was a few times over the last couple of years where I was just like kind of like ready to throw in the towel and just kind of give up on everything. But the competitive side of me is like, no, fuck that. Like I'm going to punch that thing out and I'm not going to take back control of my life. I'm actually going to let go of everything. And it's kind of like, that's really the punchline of Heavy is if I could just let go, I'd be set free. Like I found that for me, most of my suffering is self-inflicted. It's not like it's coming from some external source that's making me feel that way. I can easily find myself tricking myself into thinking that like, okay, you said I was 40 something and that made me mad. honestly, like, no, it's like like, that's not anything. It's it's not, no one can make you feel anything. It's what you think about internally that makes you feel things. Like, you are the only person that makes you feel anything. And so, I learned through this whole journey, and it resonated with me. It was like, you can elevate your consciousness, you can elevate your spirituality by just acknowledging that there's a problem. And then once you do that, you've created space between you and that problem. And now you've actually got a little, even if it's just for a moment, like, you have a second to kind of reflect and breathe on it. And that's kind of what I've just been doing. Like, like, okay, like, I know that I have this pattern of getting into these kinds of thoughts and these kinds of actions and choices, and I'm gonna do what I need to do so that I can just live in the moment and not get stuck in these ruts where I'm kind of in this circular way of thinking, these patterns. And that's kind of what Heavy's about. It's like just figuring that out, recognizing it, and then realizing, like, I actually can do something about it, and, like, let go of this and move forward.
I have two questions on that. Like, you talked about depressed. This is like a huge topic coming. Is it like you've been, after you had your injuries, and you said, like, you talked to a therapist? Did you go there and she diagnosed, like, you have a depression, or what did she say? Like, like an official depression, or is it in your, out of your view?
Well, there's different levels of depression. I mean, for people, if you want to get, like, technical and clinical about it, there's different levels. Like, you can feel depressing feelings, and it's like a moment. It's like you can be in a moment. But, like, clinical depression is something that you actually can't get out of, and you need to be you need to see a doctor. You have to get medicated for it. You need to go to therapy. There's, like, things that you need to do in order to get out of it, or else you won't, and you're just in it. And it's like it literally, it's not like, oh man, like, I kind of like that, I'm just bummed. It's like, I don't want to do anything, and I don't feel like doing anything, and I don't like anything. Like, there's no sunshine.
So
and so
something like
it's not like a burned out. It's like walking over into the corner and going, I'm just gonna lay down here and just die. Okay. It's not like, it's not even like I'm gonna kill myself. It's just like, I'm just gonna go over here and I'm not gonna eat anything. I'm not gonna drink anything. I'm just gonna lay here. I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I'm just gonna do that until I die. That's what depression's like. And for me, I've always kind of dealt with that my whole life. I've always had these kind of depressive side, and I think that's something I've never liked. But I've also never liked being anything. I don't like being I want to be happy, but when I'm in it, I try to get out of it. I don't like being sad. When I'm in it, I want to get out of it. I've never been comfortable just being. Like, and once I realized that, like, I just want to be able to feel the full spectrum of life, all the good stuff and the bad stuff, and be okay with it. So that's what I've been working on for myself. And it's great because, things don't always have to go the way I want them to go, and I can still enjoy the process of it. I can still appreciate what's happening, but it's taken a lot of work. And one of the things that actually really was very helpful was making this record. It was like being able to get in a room with my friends, talk about what's going on with me, like not being afraid about talking about it, like I'm not, like I am right now. And then going into rooms with people that I have no idea and talking about it and listening to them talk about it. And it's like, oh, like, this is kind of cool. Like, I didn't, I don't think most people realize, like, you don't have to know somebody to have an intimate experience with them. And it also, you don't have to, like, know someone to feel safe enough to talk to them. Any group of people can get together and just be like, hey, we're going to get real in here. Like, let's get real. And just be vulnerable, say whatever's going on, and, like, be accepted, walk out of the room and feel great. And, like, it changes the way that you approach life. So it was a really great thing.